Al Bernstein here with another one of my video blogs. There's been much talk lately about how the best pound-for-pound fighter list may be shaking itself out with some big wins by fighters and some not so great performances by others. I vote on the Yahoo poll for top 10 pound-for-pound fighters, and I have elevated Andre Ward all the way to the number 2 spot. I think Andre Ward is a fighter who really does everything as well as you'd like a fighter to do. And the fact that he scored a stoppage against Chad Dawson, against a fighter coming down from 175 after Ward had had so many decision wins, I think adds another element to his arsenal, which is the idea that he'll go out and stop people when he can. He's just a textbook fighter. The other fighter that I have very highly ranked, of course, is in addition to Floyd Mayweather Jr. And Manny Pacquiao, is Nonito Donaire. For Nonito Donaire to stay in the top 5 of this list, I believe he's going to have to be very impressive in his fight against Nishioka coming up on October 10th. And I'm looking for him to do that. I think he understands that that fight's about fighting a really good champion and unifying titles, but also marketing himself. Which brings us to Sergio Martinez and Manny Pacquiao now, who most people agree are in that top 5. Sergio Martinez, who fought brilliantly for 11 rounds against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., had trouble in the 12th. I don't really think that's a reason to push him down the list, simply because he wasn't knocked out and he fought like a true champion when he got up from the knockdown. And there's no question that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. does have punching power, even if he lacks discipline in many areas. And as for Manny Pacquiao, we're going to know exactly where he fits in this 5-man top when he fights Juan Manuel Marquez. Because if he can fight like the Manny Pacquiao, who was fighting with movement, combination punching, etc., if he does that against Marquez, I will have no hesitation to boost him right back up to number 2 in the list, or certainly 3, which is where I have him now. But I'll have a lot of confidence, and I think so will many other voters when they vote in a top 10 poll. So for me, those 5 men pretty much make up the top of the list in the top 10. And for me, the most important development in these mythical top 10 pound-for-pound rankings recently is Andre Ward's surge up the ladder. There is no doubt in my mind that very, very soon he will be number 1 on this list. And I think Andre Ward is probably going to be remembered as one of the best fighters of this time period. And he's got a good 4 or 5 years left in his career. And it's going to have to take a really good fighter to beat him.